من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة واتقوا الله ربكم لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة وتلك حدود الله ومن يتعد حدود الله فقد ظلم نفسه لا تدري لعل الله يحدث بعد ذلك أمرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف وأشهدوا ذوي عدل منكم وأقيموا الشهادة لله ذلكم يوعظ به من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه إن الله بالغ أمره قد جعل الله لكل شيء قدرا واللائي يئسن من المحيض من نسائكم إن ارتبتم فعدتهن 3 أشهر واللائي لم يحضن وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن ومن يتق الله يجعل له من أمره يسرا ذلك أمر الله أنزله إليكم ومن يتق الله يكفر عنه سيئاته ويعظم له أجرا أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضاروهن لتضيقوا عليهن وإن كن أولات حمل فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن فإن أرضعن لكم فآتوهن أجورهن وأتمروا بينكم بمعروف وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له أخرى لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها سيجعل الله بعد عسر يسرا وكأين من عتت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما.
As the gender war rages on, in order to keep the peace, we must discuss the exact facts. Welcome to Exactly. I'm your host, Saudi Man. Remove your shoes and enter upon your right foot, upon the right state of mind, bi'idhnillah. Topic: Nikah, please. Should Muslim men fear modern day marriage? Should Muslim men fear modern day marriage? I extend my taslim in return to Abdul Muhammad. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, ya akhi. So, we know what marriage is intended to do and what it does. And one thing that it does is that it stabilizes society in ways that are really underappreciated. Marriage stabilizes societies, therefore the Islamic society makes marriage very accessible, even to the point of giving out loans to youth. This is not talking about any government today. We're talking about an Islamic government, i.e. Khilafah. So loans will be given out to youth, and those youth will take that loan in order to establish a job, a home for their mates, so on and so forth. And these are, of course, non-interest loans. And this works to stabilize society. It does away with the LG, HD TV, 4K, HDMI, those people, the Rainbow Bright, Skittles, whatever you want to call them. It does away with them. Youth are getting married. They're not forced to satisfy their wiggles, in inhumane type of settings and ways. Nevertheless, marriage stabilizes society and produces a harmony within society. Not like zina, which causes a lot of conflict. Even in the military, they have adultery laws. Now imagine they allow every citizen, every civilian to walk around and make zina as they wish. But they don't want it for their military. Intermilitary mingling between spouses and other people's spouses and things like that. They don't allow that because that produces disharmony. So marriage produces harmony in society. It stabilizes society. And but with Islam not being enacted, many things are taking place which puts marriage out of reach for many. It makes zina very accessible. Even in Saudi, you got the concerts and the men and women are free mixing and dancing, and the hijab is no longer enforced and things like that. So, and you got religious spots like within Mecca and Medina, but otherwise, you got bikini beaches and things like that, and things are very much relaxed. Okay, to the point where the adhan is lowered and the music is loud, and the concerts don't stop even during the time of salah. Okay. So zina is becoming very accessible and plentiful, even in the land of Tawheed, as some may say. Nevertheless, Islam holds certain things within, within the human society as sacred. Okay, from believer to believer, and even some of these even extend to the kuffar. Okay, the non-Muslims. And some of those are, let me expand it. Dam. Dam is the blood. Our blood is sacred. Okay. And how does blood relate to marriage? Well, there is the passing of DNA, genealogy, so on and so forth. That's covered in blood. Also, no pun intended, but also the blood that is shed, through infidelity and things like that. Blood can actually be shed in a halal way. If you catch a man with your wife, you're allowed to take his life Islamically, things like that. So, with that being said, because blood is sacred Islamically, then marriage and fidelity and faithfulness and things like that, and the societal harmony that marriage produces, keeps the blood from being spilt and wasted. Aql, the mind. Okay, marriage produces a sense of marriage and anti-zina, practice at the same time. Um, Zina being illegal sexual intercourse with someone you're not married to, male or female, and the peace of mind that it gives you, where you're. I remember, long ago, I'm married to Muslim women, so on and so forth. Never cheating was not even the issue. I'm at work. I go from one job to another job to make the ends meet. Go from working on telephone poles to construction job, stuff like that. And I never thought about my wife cheating. Never thought about I would come home and find a naked booty jumping out the window or something like that. I never thought about things like that. So they gave me a peace of mind. Imagine a man like Tom Brady, whose wife is apparently had some type of affair with her jiu-jitsu trainer. So it wasn't just about him playing football all the time. I mean, he's going to retire at way under the age of normal retirement, and his 200 million don't compare to her 400 million, but still the case can be made that she had an affair on him. Okay, she cheated on him. And they say this is what caused him to have such a horrible season. It wasn't really skill set. It was the horrible season was because, and I think they even quoted him. I don't know if this quote is true. They said his quote was, it was the Pittsburgh quarterback. He mentioned his name. I forget what the name is, but he said that I lost my wife just to lose to such and such. That was kind of the quote. I don't know if it was a joke or not. So nevertheless, the aql is preserved, or the state of mind is preserved. The mal, the money. People spend money on zina. They waste resources on going on dates, trying to woo a woman that's not your wife, for some illegal activities, uh, so on and so forth. So again, uh, there's a lot of resources, whether it's gas, time, money, wasted, pursuing individuals that are not, that you're not married to, male or female. So money is sacred in Islam. Our wealth, our mal is sacred, and that is not something that should be wasted. Our deen, of course, it hurts your deen. Y'all know my stance. Muslim men can't cheat. It's impossible, because if we're cheating, we can't cheat on our wives. It's impossible, because we're not exclusive to our wives. We can have a second wife. Okay, you say, well, yeah, that's marriage. That's not cheating. Well, uh, anything beyond your wife, even Muslims today consider that cheating. We know it's not cheating, but they consider it cheating. Nevertheless, a Muslim man, by definition, can't cheat, because he's not cheating on his wife. He's cheating his nafs. He's cheating himself, because he's cheating as far as what the deen requires. What raises a woman to the level of a Lord where I do a sin in the sight of Allah and I'm cheating on you? That's too much. Now you say, what about a woman? Can a woman cheat? Of course a woman can cheat, because she's exclusively for you. So her smiles and her DMs and her uh, sachet away from a strange man, or her dressing inappropriately around, allowing strange man to gawk at her, all of that is cheating. All of that is cheating. Letting the cable guy in the house when you're not home, that's cheating. You know, I know a lot of y'all Muslim brothers do that. Y'all trust the cable guy. I don't. I don't trust the cable guy. You know, they have Uber drivers that done inappropriate things too, and with women and stuff like that. So just because it's a service, it's a business, doesn't mean it's something that you should take so lightly. So keep your home sacred, keep your wife exclusive. Nevertheless, the nafs, this definition, the life. Okay, again, we talk about life, the life that comes from the womb. The life that comes from the womb, so on and so forth. Is that your husband's contribution, or is it the other dudes? You won't know. There's ways you can know in the womb. It's kind of dangerous to test it while it's in the womb, but it's not as safe as waiting for the baby to come out. But nevertheless, why should that be even a cause for concern? Why should that even be a question? Well, because zina is cheap. Marriage is expensive. Marriage is hard. Getting out of a marriage is hard. We'll talk about that in more detail. But zina seems to be the easiest road. Knock them down. Shoot the, long as you don't shoot the club up, you should be cool. So on and so forth. So this is the things that we are experiencing. Okay, so we move on. We say, let me define nikah and how does it come to be. Okay, nikah means to enter. It is considered, considered marriage, or what have you. But nikah comes to be in this manner. There is attraction. Muhammad said, "Look at them. There, she sees you. You see her. You look at her. You like something." Okay. Beyond that, there is an introduction. The introduction can be through an arranged marriage. I have a son that just turned 18. He's about to play college football. He just he got an offer, to a few schools, and we went with one. Okay, so inshallah it works out. Nevertheless, he will probably soon want to be married while he's in college. He may want to be married while he's in college. So we will have to maybe arrange that, or arrange several choices that he could choose from. But at the end of the day, he has to be attracted to that choice. He has to be introduced to that choice, whether it's through arrangement or any other way, or he finds them or they find him at school. Okay, a lot of Indian Muslims there, if I'm not mistaken, with the MSA there. But nevertheless, there may be a sit down. Sit down may be the way that someone is introduced. Hey, I got a brother I want you to meet. I got a sister I want you to meet. Let's come together at this place. One sister, she wanted me to marry her daughter as my third wife. So what she did, she had her daughter cook, which is excellent way. Had her daughter cook. I came over, ate the meal, daughter was an excellent and still is an excellent cook, mashallah. So nevertheless, that was my introduction. So nikah comes to be through attraction and introduction. Okay, now how is nikah conducted? Okay, now uh, you know nikah is introduced. You saw them, you're attracted to them, you're introduced. Okay, and how does nikah is it conducted? How do you get past the process of nikah? Okay, there is a proposal. The man either proposed to the woman, woman proposed to the man through the wali, either way, okay, or face to face if they are not a virgin. And there is some evidence that you actually can propose to a virgin face to face. I would avoid that. I would avoid it strictly for logistical purposes. And if you propose to my daughter without me being there, and she, my daughter's a virgin, you propose to my daughter without me being there, it doesn't automatically disqualify you. You know what I'm saying? Uh, as long as you say, there's an evidence for it. If you're just doing it off the cuff, out of a whim, based on ignorance, okay, that still doesn't disqualify with you. But I don't want you, behaving indecent toward my daughter in any type way. But nevertheless, there's a proposal, and the wali approves of the individual to marry his ward. But guess what? A missing part. I always talk about it. The wali may say no to because the woman doesn't qualify for the man. His ward doesn't qualify for the man. How many times have y'all heard that? The men are taken through a third degree and questioned and held up against a cinder block wall by his neck. Want to see his W-2s and all this type of stuff, tax returns. But the woman is always fit. She's always good. Go. She's always straight for the stroke. What I'm saying, as they call it. But that's not necessarily true. So if I'm with a sister and she wants me to be her wali, she's my ward. She don't qualify for a lot of brothers. Maybe. Some brothers, not gonna say like that. Some brothers she may not qualify for. I think that's a better way to word it. So the wali approval, he approves of her marrying the man and the man marrying her. Okay. There's a sadaq. There's a free gift. It's not something a woman doesn't walk around with a price tag on her forehead. That's something that's bid'ah. They innovated that in the deen. Woman doesn't walk around with a price tag saying this is my price for marriage. Will he own you? If he's going to own you, then okay, now we're talking. He's going to own you. Okay. He's going to brand you like cattle. He's going to own you. So, okay, that's fine. Nevertheless, but of course we don't own human beings. Allah Ta'ala is Rabb, okay? So nevertheless, there's a sadaq, a free gift that he offers that she may or may not accept. The wali might be speaking on her behalf that doesn't seem sufficient. Or the wali might say that's too much, based on the rent you paid, based on what you will provide for her, so on and so forth. That mahar might be extravagant, and you want to avoid extravagant mahars because Muhammad some say the best of marriages is the ones where you have a manageable or a minimum or an easy mahar, an easy sadaq. Okay, so it's a free gift, it's an offer, it's not something you demand. Of course, the woman can counter, the wali could counter. Okay, and that counter could be up or down. Then there's the aqd, the actual contract. Okay, there's a contract that is written of the stipulations, the requirements, so on and so forth. And then also there is concessions that I know some instances. Oh, I'm not going to move in until 3 months, or I want to finish this semester university first, or okay, that's fine, so you got stipulations. That's the aqd zawaj, the marital contract. Okay, and after that there would be consummation. Okay, consummation. If everything is agreed, the witnesses witness, two witnesses. Okay, la nikah illa bi waliyin wa shahidain. Okay, there's no marriage except with a wali and two witnesses. So after that, then you wait for consummation. After consummation, there's walima. There's a celebration. People bring gifts. The Kafirs tend to celebrate before the consummation. Ironically, more than likely they've been consummating 99.99%. They've been consummating the whole time, consuming each other actually. But as Muslims, we wait for the consummation. Then we have walima, which is the big celebration. Muslims today have taken after the kuffar, and they are celebrating before the consummation, making it a really big deal. I'm not going to say it's haram technically, but it's something that really should be avoided because sticking to the simplicity of the Islamic zawaj, zawaj marriage, nikah, sticking to that simplicity is a blessed, more blessed. It's a blessed act, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, the husband. As far as the husband is concerned, they're married, walim consummated, walima, all that good stuff. Okay, what are his duties? Okay, his duties are, and y'all might be saying, well, what does that got to do with fearing modern day marriage? Muslim men fearing modern day marriage. Well, I'm defining modern day marriage, nikah, Islamically. Then we're gonna talk about how modernity affects it. Okay, and I'm almost there. So the husband, his duties are to protect and to provide. Okay, his duties are simply to protect and to provide. Now, protection also means ordering your wife to safety. Not letting her do what she want and she's at the club dancing, and stuff like that. She's at the club dancing and then some dude touches her, so you rush to the club to fight. That's not what protection is. Protection is not letting her go to the club. Protection is not letting her walk around, out of hijab, things like that. Post on social media out of hijab, things like that. That's protection too. It ain't just knuckling up. Okay. Nevertheless, one brother said he couldn't see the video, so I don't know why. If you can't see it, you probably should go to YouTube, inshallah ta'ala. Nevertheless. So anyway, with that being said, let me tell him to go to YouTube, inshallah. So with that being said, that's what protection encompasses, okay? And provide. We know what provide is. Provide is her bare necessities, shelter, clothing, food, and then above that is considered sadaqah. It's a gift. It's a charity. Okay. His rights. What are the husband's rights? Okay. His right is to be obeyed. Simply to be obeyed and honored. You don't dishonor your husband. It's to be obeyed and honored. Okay. That is a husband's. Encompasses a husband's right. And I think I had the little alfalfa thing sticking up. I gotta cancel that. Okay, anyway. So his duties are to protect and provide. His rights are to be obeyed and honored. Okay, and there's an extension of this if you need further explanation. Okay, nevertheless, the wife, what is her duties? What are her duties? Honor and serve her husband. That's her duties. Honor, don't disgrace your husband, and serve your husband. Okay, his rights. What are her rights? Excuse me. Protection and provision. Her rights are protection and provision. And some say one don't have nothing to do with the other, and some say one is contingent upon the other. A woman that's not honoring you, that's not obeying you, has no right to maintenance or protection. And like I say, two different thoughts about that, two different opinions, and maybe some in the middle. But nevertheless, these are the duties, these are the rights. If we carry these, things will run like a well-oiled machine. Okay. Now, let's get into it. How is nikah terminated? We talked about how nikah is established. How is it terminated? Okay. Terminated through the man pronouncing talaqtaki. Okay, I divorce you. Okay, that is requires three monthly courses. If you divorce her when she is clean, not on her menses, then you wait till she hit her menses. That's one. Second menses, 2. Third menses, 3. And after she becomes clean again, okay, that is considered, 3 courses. Okay. If you divorce her on her menses, and some opinions say you can't, but if you divorce her on her menses, then when she becomes clean, that's 1. She has her menses become clean, that's 2. When she has her menses the third time becomes clean, that's 3. And I'm sorry, I messed up on the first one. The first one is if you divorce her when she's clean, you go through menses, That's one. Menses, that's two. Menses, and then she becomes clean again. As soon as she hits that fourth menses, you don't wait that one. Okay, you don't wait that one. She is considered free. And to my recollection, that's the correct understanding. Some may have different opinions. Go with the opinion that convinces you. I'm telling you what I studied and what I understand. Okay, it's not a point of contention. Okay, and if she doesn't have menses, she's postmenopausal or have some type of irregularity because of birth control or something like that, then you count 90 days because it's not regular. Nevertheless, okay. Um, the second way of divorce is khul'a. Khul'a is when a woman seeks her emancipation. She cannot take it anymore. She has a sharia reason. She goes to her wali. She goes to her wakil. She goes to an imam, sheikh, whatever, a third party to plead her case. And if the case is legitimate, they will go to the husband and say, free her with talaq. If he refuses to free her with talaq, then she would return the sadaq, the free gift, the dowry. And I understand dowry in English is not quite what we're talking about, because dowry is usually given from the woman to the man, or the woman's family to the man. But we're just speaking in English and not with the Arabic terminology. So we're trying to get as closest to it that we can. But nevertheless, the sadaq is returned, and she is thereby free, and she waits only one menses before she can remarry. Just as with the talaq, she waits 3 menses before she can remarry. In this one, she waits only 1 menses before she remarries, and they must separate immediately. And from my understanding, the khul'a doesn't count among the 3 talaq that you are allowed. But that's beside the point. Okay, now, what about this? What about this process I just explained that would make a Muslim man fear modern day marriage? What about this process? This process from Islam will make a Muslim man fear modern day marriage. Just listen, all that I explained is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the best of my understanding, and wallahu alam. Okay? There was no kufr government involvement in what I explained. But that's not what Muslim men are experiencing these days. Okay? So Muslim sisters are posting that Muslim men fear the financial responsibility of marriage. I do not find that to be truthful. I don't find that to be truthful. The Kufr government involvement was not in the process that I explained. Okay? Now, the Islamic way, is this a good deal for Muslim men, young and old? Yes, it's from Allah Ta'ala. It's from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Okay? So yes, it's a good deal. Okay? Muslim men, young and old, again, don't oppose, maintenance and protection. They oppose, after marrying somebody according to Islam, okay, that they are drugged through the mud of kufr. They are drugged through the mud of shirk. That's what they oppose. And sisters think it's a financial thing. It's not. It's not. Okay? I'm not saying all sisters. I say sisters doesn't mean all. When a man says all, a man means all. A woman says all, she means some. So it's a big difference. Muslim men oppose the government's involvement in their marriage. You got married under the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't want to, get divorced under Judge Whitenheimer, or whatever his name is, Nevertheless, how does this government get involved? Okay, if men fear the government getting involved, how does this government end up involved in a Muslim marriage? When you married, within the sight of Allah Ta'ala. And all things are under the sight of Allah Ta'ala. So, how does the government get involved? Okay, and what does this involvement entail? So, how do they get involved? It's the woman. 99.999% of the time, the woman, if a government is involved in a Muslim's divorce, because even let's say if you got married through you got a marriage certificate, things like that, and you did it Islamically, which actually allows, makes the relations halal. But through the courts, you may have done it for a legal reason. It could be for medical. It could be for anything. Okay, So you done it for that reason, in that way, okay? And even if you decide to divorce, you divorce Islamically, and then you could go for a non-contested, just pay whatever fee, walk it over to the courthouse, non-contested, and you handled everything Islamically, non-contested, okay? That's a way to do that. You can cancel it, but because you're married with a marriage license, there's no reason to drag each other through the mud. There's no reason to do that Islamically, okay? So the government gets involved through the women. The women go run to the government because they feel like they've been wrong, or they feel like they haven't been righted enough, you know? And I'll explain. What does this involvement entail? The whole process of divorce becomes kufr. If I can't tell my wife I divorce you, and we divvy up according to Islam, then who did I marry? Why didn't I marry that Jehovah Witness that knocked on my door the other day? Why did I marry a Muslim woman if I'm going to go through the same thing I'm going to go through with a kafir, Why would I do that? Okay, that remains to be discussed, okay? Um, Again, this involvement entails whole process becoming kufr, okay? And the litigation that's involved. I know people that are separated through kufr. They are in the process of divorcing through kufr, and it takes years. Literally takes years. It's litigation, divvying up the community property and things like that. This is what they're going through. Muslims should not be going through this, even though there's an absence of the Khilafah state. We don't live under Islam. Not one speck of dirt, not one grain of sand rules by Islam in the world. So because of that, we are, we are fodder. We are fodder for the, and feed for the evil, the evil ones, nevertheless. So anyway, oppressive extraction of funds. Oppressive extraction of funds means that if Allah Ta'ala tells you to maintain her on the level that she's used to during this iddah period, okay, and Allah says you can't expel her, you can't kick her out, nor can she leave on her own accord, unless there's a case of abuse. We have evidence for that. If there's no abuse, now women say, well, I'm being emotionally abused because he don't talk to me. Well, he ain't got to talk to you. I'm being emotionally abused because he won't lay with me. He ain't got to lay with you. He lay with you, something happened, he break the iddah, he's trying to be done with it. So your maintenance is those 3 months. Work, save up, whatever, but you can't go to the kuffar and take half. You can't take one of his cars if he has 2 cars. Ask him for a car. If he says no, then no is no means no, remember? His car, his choice. You want to take the house, okay? You want to do this, you want to do that. You got to stop it. You got to stop it, okay? Because this is what makes men young and old start to frown at marriage, and especially when the young Muslim brothers start to frown at marriage and say stuff like, I'll never get married. They watch some people's content, and they'll say, I'll never get married. Well, that shouldn't be the point and purpose of anybody's podcast, to make youth not want to get married. When I said it stabilizes societies, it's a good thing. It does away with the LGHTTV 4K HDMI, and those people. So nevertheless, oppressive extraction of funds, garnishing his wages, so on and so forth. Alimony, paying her for what? Supposed to be taking care of your children if there are any. You got to pay her alimony, community property. So your property becomes part of her property. And Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if you take anything from your fellow Muslim brother or sister, unrightfully, then you're taking with you part of the hellfire. So have fun with that hellfire, okay? And then there is the unfair child support, because if a woman can't take care of a child and she's saying that, and it really, a lot of times, I know these celebrity numbers kind of confuse you, but a lot of times when they even extract the child support, the first thing the woman say, this ain't enough for a child. This ain't enough for a child. So even what the state takes from the man by force, they say it still ain't enough. And if you find the child support not enough, then give that father, put him on 100% child support. Give that child to the father. Give that child to the father. Okay? Give that child to the father. Go marry somebody else or fend for yourself. Buy a dog, cat, and die. Companies are invested in pet toys, and they are invested in boxed wine for women that are strong, independent, don't need a man. They're invested in that. You know what I'm saying? All men are trash. Get you a cat. Get you a dog. And some women get big dogs, if you catch my drift. There's a study about that, so I'm not just blowing smoke. Nevertheless, for these reasons, men are fearing, young and old Muslim men are fearing marriage. They are fearing marriage. And we talked about prenup, and I'm not going to get into it now, but there's a way to do it that's really, really smart, okay? And I came across this haphazardly. I didn't get it from anybody else podcast or nothing like that. It's something that that was mentioned as an economic incentive with an astronaut type marriage, and my term astronaut marriage. But nevertheless, we'll get into that another time, some other time. Okay. In summary, in the absence of a Khilafah system, an Islamic state that will protect men. Yeah, because if men are protected, then we can protect women. When men are not protected, we can't protect women. How can I protect a woman that goes to the courts to get custody of the kids in order to spite the man? How can I protect my children when they give the woman authority over me? They give the woman authority. She can remarry 10,000 times. The child will never come to me like Islam says. Okay? And you wonder why when women will say themselves, these children need more discipline. 6-year-old shot his teacher in the face or whatever with a gun. How did he get the gun in the school? These children need more discipline. Who's the disciplinarian? Who's the natural disciplinarian? So you remove the disciplinarian out of the child's life. You frustrate him where he no longer can come around with sanity. You use the state against him and emasculated him. So then what? Now the children need more discipline. You remove the natural discipline. That's why single fathers fare way better, and 80% or more of societal degenerates come from single mom households, single parent mom households. Single dads don't have those numbers, those statistics. Single dad don't even come close. Okay, not even half of that. You know why? Because men are the disciplinarian, and despite what you say, a woman can be replaced, a mother can be replaced, but a father can't. Okay, now stepdads, some of them do very, very well, but there may be a period of time where they hear you're not my dad. No matter what resources they spent, no matter how well they took care of that child, in times of crisis, they'll say, you're not my dad. And when dad comes around, if the ears of those children have been poisoned against their biological dad, they will recognize, that's my dad. That's my dad. Okay. Nevertheless, that's all that I have on this subject, because there is no feedback concerning it. I'm going to move on to my delusional dating profile of the week. So I want to click on which one? Okay. Let me see. What is this? Let me see. We got. Okay. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do two because this is quite nice. I'm gonna do two. Okay. I'm going to expand this. I'm going to move this way. Okay. I'm going to expand it. This is my delusional dating profile. Okay. Of the week. Now we have with us Varnessa. I bet you her dad name was Vernon or something. They always naming the girl after the dad a lot of times. It's crazy, right? Varnessa, or his name was Varnis or something. I don't know. Some slave name. Nevertheless, she says, about me, I'm multi talented, ambitious, fun girl to be around, pretty direct and straightforward for the most part. Communication is very important to me. Love to be spoiled, loved on, cared about, cherished. Please be a man. Prefer a strong, tall, fit, muscular, healthy, well endowed man. Okay? Every woman's dream, right? I'm trying to get fit myself, so bear with me. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? It's always going to be something. It's always going to be something. Okay, now read the rest. It says, take me out and get to know me more. If you're short, we're definitely only being friends. So there's two things about this that I could point out three, but I'll point out the main two because I got a second one I want to do real quick. Uh, she prefers a tall, a stronger, tall, fit, muscular, wealthy, well endowed man. You know, the mark of the beast, 666. Okay. Uh, and then she says, I'm trying to get fit myself. So bear with me. See, the man has to bear with her while she is trying to get fit. And I'm not going to put any pictures of her up, but you got to bear with her while she's trying to get fit. But the man must be strong. The man must be tall. The man must be fit. The man must be muscular, okay? The man must be wealthy, okay? And well endowed. Well endowed, okay? And she says, I'm trying to get fit myself, so bear with me. Is she going to bear with the man? Let's say he comes with a bit of a stomach. He comes with a bit of a stomach. You think that fits her qualification? Fit? She didn't say trying to get fit. She's trying to get fit. Think she's gonna bear with that man? I don't think so. Hey, I ain't got no big muscles right now, but can you bear with me? I'm gonna build me some muscle. You know, can you bear with me? That type of thing. You know, I'm not strong right now, but I'm getting my push-ups on. Can you bear with me? After all those requirements, some of it is not up to him. The endowment, not up to him. The height is not up to him. Okay? And some of this stuff, all of this stuff got to be struggled for unless you just naturally have it. You inherited money from your parents, some other thing. You naturally fit, naturally muscular, naturally strong. You know, those things can happen. Okay, but if they're not there, you got to work for them. Okay. Nevertheless, take me out, get to know me. If you're short, we're definitely only being friends. Okay. Now she hit the wall. She's already in a danger zone. 4 more years. I don't know if she has children or not. I didn't look that deep into it. But nevertheless, I don't see it. But nevertheless, that's the first one I want to come up with. So a man has to be patient while she tries to get into shape, but the man has to have all those qualifications. Isn't that crazy? And she's 31. I'm going to give you a secret. A man that's strong, tall, fit, muscular, wealthy, and well endowed is going to pick a 21. He has a choice between that 31 and a 21. Now, okay, what did the 31 say? 31 said, I'm pretty direct, you know, and straightforward for the most part, you know. So that means that she might be, vocal at times or, situations that she shouldn't be, okay. But nevertheless, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is, okay, this one is very, very interesting, subhanAllah. Check this one out. So she says, this is Elizabeth. Elizabeth says, love to dance, not very shy, outgoing and talkative. Okay, that's not bad. It depends on where she dancing, who she dancing around, but okay. Not looking for one night stands. Okay, pretty nice. Okay, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Contemporary issues with Imam Bashir. It's a long name. Uh, don't ask me to come over your house late at night because it ain't gonna happen. Looking for someone who can dance. If not, it's okay. Must have vehicle. Don't message me if you live outside of San Antonio. That's my current city. Unless you're willing, she misspelled your, you know, should be an E on there with apostrophe after the R. I mean, before the R. Uh, unless you're willing to come see me, okay? Must be a dog lover. So you must uh, either participate in bestiality or you are beast curious. And I'm being facetious, okay? Because I love my dog and she comes first. That's it. That's it. I underlined. I kind of cheated on this. I underlined it. Now, usually you'll hear I got 3 children that come first. I got a daughter, teenage daughter comes first. I got a 21-year-old son. He comes first. That's in college. You hear that. This woman says her female dog comes first. How can you make a relationship with such a person? This is what we go through. These are the things that we're reading. We're looking on Muzz Match is not any better. I don't know about Half Our Dean. I haven't been on that site. I don't know if you have to pay to go on there or whatever. I haven't been on there. I think the Uncovered Women are still on there, if I'm not mistaken. I knew when it first was formed there was Uncovered Women on there, which kind of makes it ho hum like any other site. Although they have like meet and greets, they have meet and greets. I don't know if the Walis or fathers are kind of cool with that, or if they are 10, I'm not sure. Nevertheless, so again, the point and purpose of me bringing this to light is what us men go through. We don't have it so easy. Okay? And if the men are not secure, then we can't secure anyone. If we're not protected, we can't protect anyone. If we can't, seek provision, then how can we provide? Okay? If we at work and we fear that something's happening, while we're at work, then we're not gonna have a good day at work, or we're not gonna have our mind focused. You can get your clothes caught up in the machine, or a lot of stuff can happen if your mind is not focused on the task. Okay, so must be a dog lover because I love my dog and she comes first. Have fun with that one. I think she should buy a second dog, third dog, and throw in a couple of cats. I think that may be her. She's 41. I mean 42, excuse me. The lady before was 31, and she had this delusional expectation, which some may say, well, a man might go for that. Yeah, she's not fit. She want her husband to look better than her. And not being fit doesn't stop her from showing her zina, her treasures. It don't stop her from doing that. This one right here, again, I don't generally screenshot the photos of them. I don't post them unless it's significant to what they say. But this woman apparently loves her dog more than she loves you. Or she loves her dog more than she will love you. And if her dog comes first, then what role would you play in this woman's life? Nevertheless, that's all that I have. This has been your brother Saud Imam for Exactly. Tune in next week, and really, I'm thinking about doing shorter topics, maybe half an hour topics, along with the delusional dating profile, or doing the delusional dating profile separate. But I'm going to get the videos more shorter, more succinct, and I may be doing them spontaneously, not necessarily on a particular day or time. Okay, so or date. Okay, so bear with me as I transition. My son again just got accepted into a college. He just accepted the offer, and inshallah ta'ala, that'll free up more of my time because we've been traveling Oklahoma, uh, you know, I don't know if that was South Texas or wherever we went. We went West Texas or whatever. We went different places, looking at colleges, 4 or 5 hours. His last college kept us there 12 hours. Then we went back this morning to have breakfast with the coaches and things like that. So, inshallah, he'll grow into a nice young man and pursue his dreams of, having his own practice, physical therapy practice, and getting into the NFL prior to that. If he makes it, we pray Allah Ta'ala he stays safe, on this educational journey, inshallah Ta'ala. So this again has been your brother Saudi Ma'am for Exactly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.